It starts here. It ends here. And what goes on between here and here is the essence of what we do at J&J Snackfoods. We manufacture, market, and distribute great American snack foods and beverages at popular prices. We do it faithfully. We do it consistently. And we do it proudly. In good times and in not so good times, as a company and as patriots, we are committed to standing strong. Lately, it's been popular to debate about the fundamentals of the American economy. Whether it is strong, whether it is weak, whether it is sound, whether it is soft. Yes, it's true. Once rock-solid icons of American commerce are now shaking in their foundations, if indeed they haven't already vanished from the business landscape altogether. However, history has taught us that it's never wise to underestimate the unrelenting courage, the undeniable backbone, and the unbridled tenacity of the American people. We know about resiliency. We know about commitment. We know about sacrifice. We know about standing strong. Standing strong means more than buildings, more than monuments, more than power and action. It's all those things in the middle, too. It's all the everyday things that make America stand strong and keep J&J Snackfoods standing strong. Even in the toughest of times, with the volatility of commodity and energy costs, with customers making difficult decisions about how to spend their hard-earned money, we were able to stand strong and bring home our 37th consecutive year of record sales. 37 years of overcoming obstacles. 37 years of sales growth, including innovations and successful integration of acquisitions. Indeed, a record to be proud of. Yes, of course, it does start here and end here. But in the middle, J&J Snackfoods is continuing to manufacture, market, and distribute the very best of snack foods and beverages because of the opportunity presented to us almost 4 decades ago. Because of the people we're blessed to work with around the nation every day, and because of the remarkable spirit that makes America the greatest nation on earth, we are continually committed to standing strong.
Everybody, welcome to Unwrapped. I'm Mark Summers, and if you love sports, there is nothing like the food you get at ballparks and arenas. We are calling it fanfare. Thanks very much. You see these soft pretzels at almost every stadium, don't you? And the folks at Super Pretzel crank 1 billion of these babies out every year. But now they've got a new twist on their traditional pretzels. So we're going to check out this soft snack sports fans can cheer about. I see why. The makers of Super Pretzel at the J&J Snack Factory in Pensacola, New Jersey, are baking up a new way to support your favorite sports team.
I like the Philadelphia Flyers. Oh, cool.
These giant-sized doughy designs feature team logos.
This is another way to capitalize on the team spirit, the pride, the logo, and just our little way of supporting our teams. All the ingredients are automatically fed in here. If you look up to the top, you see the source for water, yeast, corn syrup, and flour.
After 8 minutes of mixing, the dough plops onto a cart. Regular pretzels, the dough slides through rollers. Then mechanical arms twist the dough into the traditional shape. But shaping a logo pretzel is a challenge. The key to perfectly shaped letters lies in a specially made die plate. This heavy-duty cast iron die sits inside an extruder and dough squeezes through the design.
Notice that it's not one big section, but it's a series of little holes. That's to even out the dough so it goes on the top and the middle and the bottom.
30 pretzels per minute push through the die plate. The B's are the Buffalo Bills logo.
When the bee comes out about 1/2 inch, the guillotine, which is located right here, automatically cuts off the bee.
As the B's ride a 150-foot proofing belt, the dough rises during the 16-minute trip. Then a pretzel spa showers the dough in a salty liquid for 20 seconds. The 160-degree Fahrenheit brine bath gives the pretzels their color, moisture, and taste.
That little tang to your tongue when you bite into a soft pretzel, that's the sodium hydroxide talking to you.
Next, a 55-foot tunnel oven bakes the B's for 3 minutes at 550 degrees Fahrenheit. Then, they head to a spiral freezer. The temperature in here is 20 below zero.
That's as close as we can get to the North Pole. By the time they leave the spiral, they'll be 20 degrees and frozen throughout.
Right now, you can find logo pretzels in about half a dozen sports arenas, primarily on the East Coast and in the Midwest. So far, they're scoring big points with fans.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Unwrapped. I'm Mark Summers, and today we're heading to the concession stand to shine the spotlight on movie munchies. Now, popcorn is, thank you, sir, the most popular movie munchie. But there's another bite-sized snack that's becoming a box office hit. They're right here, soft pretzels. Now, they're staples at ballparks and stadiums, but the company also makes them more manageable when you're kicking back in front of that big screen. Move over, popcorn. A new theater snack is walking down the red carpet.
Could we have an order of the pretzel bites, please?
Like popcorn, pretzel bites are small, warm, and easy to eat.
When you make them small and you make them poppable, they're even more fun. I guess maybe they're easier to throw at the screen if you don't like what's happening in the movie.
The J&J Snack Factory in Pensacola, New Jersey uses 3 ingredients to make 1 batch of pretzel dough.
400 pounds of flour, about 190 pounds of water, and about 10 pounds of yeast.
After 7 minutes in the mixer, the dough plops into a hopper, which feeds an extruder.
An extruder is like an auger, and it pushes the dough through at a constant speed. We're using 4 different plates, each with 6 holes, so you have 24 strings of dough coming out you. This machine will process about 2,400 pounds an hour. The next step is to make them into a bite. We use a machine here called the guillotine, for obvious reasons.
The blade doesn't cut through the dough completely.
That's because these little soldiers need to march in step without getting caught on the hills of the conveyor belt. After a salty shower, the bites bake in a 45-foot long oven.
If you look on the chain above here, you'll see the raw products going into the oven. The temperature is about 550 degrees, and it's got a 3-minute bake.
After 3 minutes, the bites ride a conveyor to cool down. One batch of bites takes 20 minutes from start to finish. And how's this for a finish? A spiral blast freezer.
It's about 22 degrees. They're in here for about 25 minutes. This spiral itself will hold about 40 to 45,000 bites.
Then, the frozen bites get boxed. The next stop is the concession stand. They get a dose of salt, slide into the oven, and then wait beneath a warming lamp for pretzel lovers to pick them up. And get this, moviegoers on the West Coast prefer their pretzel bites sweeter than people on the East Coast. So J&J adds corn syrup to the dough when they make pretzel bites for the West Coast, and they forego the cheese.
The 3 different dips available on the West Coast are caramel, icing, and a chocolate one.
So come movie time, grab a box of these little golden nuggets. They're already getting 2 thumbs up at theaters across the country.
Hi, welcome to Unwrapped. I'm Mark Summers. Watch closely because today we're uncovering the sweets and treats that have something to hide, and we're getting the inside scoop to see what surprises are in store. Now, this may look like an ordinary pretzel, but believe me, you take a bite and you're going to get more than you bargained for. So let's discover what lies inside.
Bite into this soft pretzel and you'll get an unexpected surprise. Pretzel fillers are a new twist on an old favorite. J&J Snackfoods have taken a classic snack and made it into more of a meal. Jalapeno cream cheese is one of 4 gooey centers you can find inside these pretzel fillers. There's also pizza, apple, and sweet cream cheese. So how do they get the jalapeno cream cheese filling inside your average pretzel dough? Well, once the dough hits the hopper, they prepare the creamy center and spice it up with extra jalapenos. Side by side, the duo gets extruded through a high-tech twisting machine which wraps the dough around the cheese. Then the filled dough is cut into 16-inch strips. But these treasures need special treatment. Hand twisting is a requirement for each pretzel.
Because that's the best way to make the product right now. It's very, very fragile. There's a lot of special, tender care, hand care that's put into making each one of these pretzel fillers.
These hand twisters make it look easy, but don't try this trick at home.
People that do it are very skilled and have great eye-hand coordination, and they're fairly fast too.
They can twist up to 64 soft pretzels per minute. But before these gems leave the room, they must stand up to a rigorous test. A sample is sliced open and weighed to ensure even distribution of the secret stash. Once they know each bite will be just right, the pretzels are sent to the spiral proofer for 30 minutes, where the dough relaxes and the yeast rises. The twisted treat gets the royal treatment. Each pretzel is bathed in a special sodine solution and crowned with a cheese topping. This step adds a golden luster and extra flavor. Dressed to the nines, the pretzel bakes for 5 minutes at a flaming 500 degrees. Then, these golden nuggets are frozen solid and are ready to ship out. Next time you see one of these jewels, you may think it's just a regular soft pretzel, but don't be fooled. One bite and you'll know there's more than meets the eye.
everybody, welcome to Unwrapped. I'm Mark Summers, and today we're diving into the deep freeze to come up with some teeth-chattering eats. So when you need a cold drink, nothing, I'm telling you, nothing is chillier than an icy. You know, it's that slushy stuff that swirls around in convenience stores where you're never going to believe what ingredient they use to keep that foamy texture. It's pretty interesting. Watch.
Its consistency is more like snow than ice. But to get the whole story behind the icy, we have to travel back to the 1950s. It all began in an ice cream shop on a hot summer day.
Started off years ago with a gentleman in Coffeyville, Kansas, who used to freeze Coke bottles, and then he'd bring them out of the freezer, pop the top, and the kind of frozen treat would pour out of the top of it.
And he thought, gosh, I've got something here. I think I need to make a piece of equipment or machinery that dispenses this kind of product. And hence the icy machine was born.
For kids, it was love at first slurp. In the early 60s, Icy revealed the infamous blue raspberry, and it's been their flagship flavor ever since.
Blue is trademark Icing. Kids love to drink it. They love the blue teeth. They love the blue tongue.
Over 4 decades, Icy has marketed 60 flavors, and they're still experimenting.
We've got apple kiwi and strawberry banana, bubblegum, mango melon.
The most popular flavors are cherry and cola, and some flavors never make the cut.
We tried a buttered popcorn, smelled exactly like buttered popcorn, but the flavor was horrible.
Icy introduced the dome lid and spoon straw in the 1980s. Today, there are more than 75,000 Icy machines across America. The recipe is pretty basic.
3 ingredients: syrup, water, and CO2.
The CO2, or carbon dioxide, gives Icy its most important ingredient: carbonation.
The carbonation is the key. It makes it that light, airy type drink that people like. This is our freezing chamber. The syrup and water and CO2 are all pumped into this section. The scraper blades are constantly turning and scraping the ice around the sides of the freezing chamber. It's its own little manufacturing plant.
Icy makes more than 5 million gallons of syrup a year here in Santa Fe Springs, California. And you'll never believe what ingredient is responsible for making the Icy foam. Here's a hint: it comes from a desert plant.
One neat ingredient that's in Icy products is yucca. It's a cactus plant. It ensures the proper amount of foam in the Icy cup that will last approximately 10 minutes.
The yucca extract mixes with sugar and flavoring. Water streams into the 1,900-gallon tank, and the ingredients mix together. You can already see the yucca foaming agent at work. Then the syrup flows into bottles and bags. And they're off to Icy vendors in 6 countries.
In the U.S., we pour over 2 billion cups per year.
That's more than 2 billion multicolored tongues.
It starts here. It ends here. And what goes on between here and here is the essence of what we do at J&J Snackfoods. We manufacture, market, and distribute great American snack foods and beverages at popular prices. We do it faithfully. We do it consistently. And we do it proudly. in good times and in not so good times, as a company and as patriots, we are committed to standing strong. Lately, it's been popular to debate about the fundamentals of the American economy. Whether it is strong, whether it is weak, whether it is sound, whether it is soft. Yes, it's true. Once rock-solid icons of American commerce are now shaking in their foundations, if indeed they haven't already vanished from the business landscape altogether. However, history has taught us that it's never wise to underestimate the unrelenting courage, the undeniable backbone, and the unbridled tenacity of the American people. We know about resiliency. We know about commitment. We know about sacrifice. We know about standing strong. Standing strong means more than buildings, more than monuments, more than power and action. It's all those things in the middle, too. It's all the everyday things that make America stand strong and keep J&J Snackfoods standing strong. Even in the toughest of times, with the volatility of commodity and energy costs, with customers making difficult decisions about how to spend their hard-earned money, we were able to stand strong and bring home our 37th consecutive year of record sales. 37 years of overcoming obstacles, 37 years of sales growth, including innovations and successful integration of acquisitions. Indeed, a record to be proud of. Yes, of course, it does start here and end here. But in the middle, J&J Snackfoods is continuing to manufacture, market, and distribute the very best of snack foods and beverages because of the opportunity presented to us almost 4 decades ago. Because of the people we're blessed to work with around the nation every day, and because of the remarkable spirit that makes America the greatest nation on earth, we are continually committed to standing strong.
Hi, welcome to Unwrapped. I'm Mark Summers. Got a question for you. What exactly makes up American food? Well, burgers and fries come to mind, but hamburger really traces back to Germany, and well, fries, that recipe comes from France. How about pizza? The Italian specialty has become America's #1 fast food. And today, we're going to look at some ethnic favorites that have become stateside staples. Those foreign foods that really aren't foreign in America anymore. Today, we're looking at food from abroad that has become just about as American as apple pie. And here's one of those special treats, Italian ice. Traditionally, vendors in Old World Italy sold this handmade recipe by pushing carts through the streets calling out gelato. These days, this common cool-down can be made up in factories, and we're going to take you on a behind-the-scenes tour to see exactly how it is done.
Ever feel like a summer romance with a sweet Italian? Americans have been satisfying that craving since the first Italian immigrants introduced the infamous recipe for Italian ice. These days, water ice is available on street corners, supermarkets, and stadiums. But it wasn't always that easy to come by.
Legend has it that Emperor Nero in 54 AD sent his Roman legions up into the Alps to bring back fresh, pure snow. And then they would squeeze fresh fruit juices over the snow, and that's how Italian ice started.
And this fruity snack caught on quick. While Rome wasn't built in a day, in less than 24 hours, Luigi's Italian Ice can squeeze out over 325,000 cups. It all starts with a push of a button.
Our mix operator will go to his computer screen and call up the Luigi flavor that he's going to make that day.
Depending on the flavor's recipe, the computer dispenses all the liquid ingredients to make a 5-gallon batch, including purified water, sugar, and fruit juices. Next come the dry ingredients, adding stabilizers and extra flavoring. The mix is whisked off to the lab to pass inspection. Once the sugar, vitamin C, and acid levels meet the royal standards, the operator sends the product to the storage tank.
From the storage tank, the Luigi's Italian Ice will go into a continuous ice cream freezer and freeze it into a semi-frozen state, very similar to a soft serve ice cream at this point.
This silky treat that's fit for an emperor finally has some new clothes. Swirls. 2 classic flavors like strawberry and banana are swirled into one. And this custom-built machine works hard to keep up with demand, filling cups at a rate of 384 per minute. Each ice is spun 10 times to ensure the perfect swirl. Then the cup gets a cap to face the final freeze. The Italian ice goes from 25 degrees to -10 in 30 minutes.
The faster you can freeze it, the better the quality is going to be, the smaller the ice crystals, and the smoother the texture.
And while the favorite flavor is still classic lemon, what would the king of cool think of the swanky new swirls?
I think he'd like them, and I'm sure that Nero probably made the first swirl. I'm sure they squeezed some lemons and some cherries at the same time and had a unique taste.
Here's one more theory on how Italian ice was invented. Some say Marco Polo actually brought this recipe back to Venice from one of his famous explorations. Another sweet snack that has made a worldly journey? Churros. They started in Spain centuries ago and ended up at amusement parks and carnivals all over America today. Here's the question. What exactly are they? Well, don't you think it's time we found out?
What do you get when you take a donut, straighten it out, lose the hole, and give the whole thing a south-of-the-border twist? Well, you get one of these, a churro.
A churro is a fried pastry. It's a fried donut snack in the States.
Over the last few years, these twirly treats have wound their way into the American diet. But their history goes back hundreds of years.
No one really knows the origination of a churro. It started in Spain, we think. We think it came here via the Spanish explorers in 1500, somewhere around there, into Mexico and Argentina, and then came up through the States through immigration.
Companies such as J&J Snackfoods in Southern California churn out churros by the thousands. The snacks start out as bags of wheat or flour stirred with water in big vats. The dough gets dumped into a forming machine and the pastry is extruded in long twists. Here, fillings like this apple mixture can be added in. Then the doughy ribbons are dipped into a hot bath, frying for about 4 minutes at a temperature of around 365 degrees. After the churros are cooked, they are cut, then cooled on conveyors. Next, it's off to the freezer. The churros spend about 1 hour in deep freeze to preserve them for the packing process. Churros may have started out in Spain, but they are gaining popularity all over the world, even in some unexpected places.
Where we thought it wouldn't be popular was Asia. We moved into Japan, into Tokyo and Disneyland. Korea has been phenomenal with churros.
Oh, and in case you're wondering, what does the word churro mean?
Churro is a kind of sheep. How it became related to a pastry, I have no idea at all.
The Italian ice cart is a good old-fashioned way to satisfy your cravings for a cold, sweet treat. But if your taste buds are looking for something a little more tart, how about a frozen lemonade? In 1996, Minute Maid created its soft frozen lemonade for the Atlanta Olympics, and right now, we are going to see why it's been a winner ever since.
It's a very soft, spoonable, almost like a sorbet consistency.
This factory in Moosic, Pennsylvania makes 120,000 cartons of the sweet and sour stuff every day. The formula for this super concentrated liquid lemon base is a secret. First, the lemon concentrate pumps into a mixing tank along with filtered water. Next up, the second most important ingredient.
This product is called Stabilizer. Stabilizer helps to hold the consistency of the product so it doesn't become icy or crumbly when people eat it.
Maltodextrin shakes into the mix to make it smooth. Then, a powdered form of citric acid joins the party to enhance the lemony flavor. And finally, a bit of corn syrup. After each 500-gallon batch mixes for 5 minutes, workers take a sample of the mixture down the hall to the lab. Once the sample passes the test, multiple pipes filter the entire 500-gallon batch into the pasteurization room.
From 40 degrees, we heat it up to 163 for 6 to 10 seconds.
Next, the liquid travels through 300 feet of steel pipes to a freezer.
We turn it into a semi-solid at about 25 degrees. And you can see we go from a wet pipe to a frozen pipe.
The pipeline carries the product to the filling machine where cups plunge into position. As the cups spin up, a time-elapsed filler dips down to dispense exactly 12 ounces. Another machine seals the cartons and lays on the lids.
Our soft frozen lemonade filler is producing about 120,000 cups a day.
The frozen lemonade heads into a spiral freezer for 35 minutes. Now it's frozen to a core temperature of -5 degrees Fahrenheit before they ship it to stadiums around the country. And it's not just lemonade. You can also try strawberry or raspberry lemonade and cherry limeade.
The flavor's okay, but I think it needs to be a little darker.
The science team is always working on the next new flavor.
We're looking at everything from the aroma, color, texture.
But not everything that sounds good actually tastes good.
We tried a frozen beer one time. You know, we thought that would be great. It tasted like 2-day-old flat beer. Like you can't recreate the carbonation.
This may look like a great job, but there is risk involved.
You got to pace yourself or you'll get a brain freeze.
Hi, welcome to Unwrapped. I'm Mark Summers. What is the common link between carnivals, stadiums, ballparks, amusement parks, state fairs, circuses, and zoos? Well, besides the fun, it's the food. Vendors selling all those snacks practically everywhere you turn. And what kind of treats are we talking about? Well, watch. When people think of carnivals and the food to buy and eat at carnivals, they often think of fried dough or funnel cakes. Now, sometimes you see them being made by hand, but join me as we see how they're made by the millions.
No one knows exactly how funnel cakes were invented, but we do know how these classic Pennsylvania Dutch treats got their name. They were first made by pouring batter through a funnel into a skillet of hot oil. And it's all about organized chaos.
The wider the batter, the more it would become a pancake and the less distinguishable. So by pouring them through a funnel, you control the batter to a pretty fine line and can control the shape as well as the size of the funnel cake.
This crossbreed between a pancake and a donut became a huge hit at the carnival circuit.
And the problem with that was that people had to stand in line for long periods of time waiting for the fryer to heat up and then the funnel cake to actually be fried in the fryer.
automation is the answer to selling these babies like hotcakes. At this funnel cake factory, machines can pump out 1,800 pounds of batter an hour. The main ingredients are yeast, flour, and egg. Take 100 pounds of that and add 55 pounds of water.
Mix it in a big batch or a bowl, kind of like a mix master at home, for about 4 minutes.
Each batch is then rolled over to the vacuum pump. The batter is sucked into the depositor at a steady rate to ensure consistent funnel cakes all day long.
It starts out in the outside and works its way in, almost like a concentric circle.
Once they shape up, it's time to ship out for a 20-foot ride through sizzling vegetable oil. After 30 seconds on one side, the cakes take a Ferris wheel flip to cook the other side. The funnel cakes have a chance to cool down on their way to the spiral blast freezer, set at a chilly -10 degrees.
By freezing for 30 minutes, we ensure that all the yeast activity is finished.
So the funnel cakes are ready to heat and serve at a carnival near you.
Our market research has shown that it's almost a non-denominational, non-gender, non-age specific kind of commodity. As it's a fun food, when people go to carnivals, the lines are almost indistinguishable. There's lots of people from every